Here is my cleaned coin collection. I'm going to share this collection with you, and we're going to talk about clean coins, maybe how to identify them a little bit about light reflections and things like that. And we're going to do some comparison with coins that have not been cleaned. So if you are interested in learning about clean coins, how to identify clean coins all across the board here, I encourage you to watch this video. So stay tuned. But before we get started, here is the Coin Help You community. If you have a coin question of any kind, please come over to Coin Help You community and post an image and ask your question. I even have a tab right here on how to post images, post a mint error question, or post a general coin question. Introduce yourself. Come over here to Coin Help You community and check out what we have to offer over here for free. Doesn't cost a thing to join and ask for help. Before we get started on looking at clean coins, I want to talk about the color of coins, or the light reflections is what I should say. We have a color spectrum, and you can see it in rainbows, and a lot of there's luminosity here and translucency. When you are talking about silver and even gold, but even copper, you have luster. And luster is translated by your eyes a certain way. Nobody sees it exactly alike. And then if you're colorblind, it even adds more dynamics to it. But still, even being colorblind, the dynamics are here because even red looks different than orange, okay, or green or blue. But when you're talking, let's say, about a copper coin, you want it to kind of look like in this area, but it's still not going to look exactly like this. But when you start getting into the pink range, and it might not look pink to a lot of people, or more of a yellow look, then you probably cleaned, or brass. Sometimes brass molecules can, migrate to the surface of a mint coin. We're not trying to get into the mint air part of it, but once you start seeing enough clean copper coins or clean silver coins, you start identifying that light reflection, that certain grayscale or color scale that goes to your eyes, and you're like, oh, hold on, that looks a little off than what is typically accepted for a problem-free, red, brown, copper coin, or a silver lustrous with, like I said, cartwheel effect. Some people look at it. There's all kinds of things you can describe it as, but the surfaces have been altered from the original because it just doesn't seem like it should look like this. You're never going to be 100%, and no one's going to agree 100%. Same thing with the grayscales. Silver is pretty much in the grayscales. I mean, you've got some white and some reflection because it's a lustrous metal, but this can help you a little bit because there's certain areas on the collar, there's certain areas on the grayscale that a coin should not be. If it's dark like this, then it's either been cleaned and polished, or it's dimple, the deep mirror proof like, or maybe even a proof. So the thing about that would be, does it have reflectivity? Does it have toning over that, where a lot of proofs will have toning over it? Or is it just polished? It has very little reflectivity, just a lot of depth. These are all things you have to take into consideration when you're looking at coins. So let's take a look at coins. Let's get away from this because this really isn't scientific here. I mean, I'm kind of going with the art of it because for me, this is how I do it. My eyes see all these different, the collars. I mean, it sees all these variations on coins, and certain variations my brain's been trained and over the years that looks clean, that looks off. I'm not always right, but for the most part, it seems like I do get it correct. So let's start off first with cleaned unk details. Most people would look at this coin and they would not find anything wrong with it. They would not think cleaned. But the surfaces on this coin have been slightly altered. It could have been an acid dip a long time ago. It could have been whizzed. It could have been thumbed. There's all kinds of different things that coins could have experienced in their lifetime. And really, sometimes it takes putting one that is problem-free side by side to discern the difference. The difference is very slight, but you can see it. Something has messed with this coin. and it's not circulated. It's a different kind of alteration. But you can see the difference when you compare it. I have another one, and this is even less obvious, but yet on the reverse you can see that it's obviously been messed with. You can see the lines. So, it's a nice coin. Otherwise, a lot of times you would overlook that, but you can't. I mean, you have to look at every little area of a coin. This one was considered tooled. Sometimes it's not easy to see the marks. Really holding it at an angle, using 5x magnification, you should be able to find, the marks on a coin that shouldn't be there. This was probably tooled in another way, and then it retoned because it exposed some of the molecules, the metal molecules. That's what a lot of people don't realize as well, is that this is not natural toning, derived from the coin being messed with, tooled. Then here's an 82S. By most standards, you can see some of the reflectivity. You can see the lines right here. Most people would consider this a very nice coin. But when you start turning it in the light, you can see the difference in it. But really the lines, you can see them right here when you're... And then on the reverse as well. Looks like a problem-free reverse for the most part, but it has a little odd look to it. And then here's an 18830, and I threw it in because it looks like a clean coin to me. If someone brought this into the shop, I would think clean. But they put 62 on it. I would even think circulated. I mean, it just doesn't need... I mean, I would rather have this clean coin all day long than this one. And this one's supposed to be problem-free 62. I would pay more for this one than I would for this one. So sometimes clean's not always that bad. Here's another one. Some companies put the MS60 on them. Annex and ICG do that. A and ACS. They'll put, 60 or 60 AU details. They'll put an actual point grade on it. But this one's considered cleaned. I do agree with that. But still yet, it's a nice coin. But you can see the areas. And like I said, people did use acid, hydrochloric acid. The same acid they use to test gold and silver to get the tarnish or the ugliness off a coin. Because, it's a form of rust. I mean, it was ugly to some people at one time. Don't get me wrong. There's some nice toned coins out there, beautiful toned coins that bring a huge premium. But when it comes to the dull, ugly toning, they would remove it. Whiter coins sell better than toned coins. Overall, most people would rather have it. I've had people come in the coin shop and they're like, oh my goodness, that coin's tarnished. Tarnish is bad for silver. I mean, people used to eat off of silverware. I mean, it was just something that was thought, was a bad thing. Like this one here, for instance. It's not pretty toning. It's not an ugly coin. It says it's improperly cleaned. There's all these terms that are used. They're just thrown around. I don't think you can really pinpoint. I mean, yeah, you could say, well, it's improper to clean. The other one just dunk details. Maybe they didn't know how it was cleaned. This was improper. I think all cleaning can be improper if it's done harshly to where it removes the original surface. That's what you're looking for. A change in the original surface. I do not think the reverse of this coin was cleaned at all. I think that's problem-free just fine. But I can see on the obverse that it has been messed with a little bit. This could have been a belt buckle. Who knows? Certain things can happen to coins. Maybe it's circulated on one side, not on the other, because that can happen if you use it as jewelry. Here's another one, AU50 details, 21S. It's considered whizzed. And whizzed, like I said, like it sounds, something's been done to the surface of the coin. A lot of people think, rotary tool or, something like that. It doesn't have to be. A lot of times acid could be used to whiz coins. You take a steel wool cloth to them, and then you want to use acid to kind of eat down the peaks so that it's more of a flat surface and it'll actually create more reflective quality on the coin. So you have those to look at, but always have these as well. Always have the problem-free coins to compare so that you know the difference, that you know the exact dye finish they should have. And you want to know the difference between circulation and a coin that has been cleaned. I mean, you can see the difference. This coin has been cleaned, but they both have similar details. But you can see the difference in one or the other. Even though some might say this is even cleaned. the way it looks. But it's just circulated. It's a low-grade circulated coin. Peace dollars, 1925, Unk details cleaned. Can you see where this coin's been cleaned? I think what it is just like you got to hold it at an angle and they're fine lines, but they're only in one direction. Really surprised they caught that. They were looking for it. Because when you're experienced, there's something about it that would look off. And when you start looking at it at the angles and under different lighting, my lighting here wouldn't be great for grading. And here's another one. It's a 34. They consider this Unk details genuine. But it's still a nice coin, but you've got something right here. And that pretty much clue you in that there's something happened to it, to the coin. Here's the reverse. It's an otherwise really nice coin, and I'll tell you, you'll see some coins like this in dealers' cases, not graded, sold as, MS63 or 64. So you do have to be careful. You want to watch. But like I said, if you like the coin, it really doesn't matter. There's no one to fret over this. This is just to teach you to help discern. So you can see little differences here. It's genuine cleaned, Unk details. And you can see some marks here, almost like roller marks on there. You see roller marks a lot. A lot of times counting machines have rubber wheels and also coin roll machines and things like that. These were thrown in bags. I mean, they've been through a lot over all the years. And this one is problem free, but I wanted to put it up here because I want you to look at the surfaces of it, because a lot of people look at that. This is a late die stage. This is where the die has basically warped. You can see it very well in the images, but you can see the cold metal flow, and it was just getting ready to fail. Not a lot of cracks. It doesn't have to be cracks, but both of them, obverse and reverse dies, shared the same amount of age to them and wear. So I kept this one as an example. It's not a mint error or anything like that. It's not anything crazy. But, I just wanted to show that to compare. It has some different toning, staining on it. But still yet, it was considered problem-free. Here is a 1916. I've shown this in the video before. NGC said it was cleaned, and PCGS said it was clean. So I concur, it was cleaned. Surfaces were altered some way or another in the past. So I can't argue that. And it's probably something that I would like to sit down and talk with someone about, a grader. Because there's no clean lines. It has the, surfaces of a 16. I mean, even walking half dollars, have a little oddness to the surface on them. This one here was determined to be clean. So, I have to accept that, even though it just looks like such a nice coin. And then I have walking half dollar, details cleaned. And to me, that definitely looks clean. Look, when you hold it in the light like that, you can see the dark areas. What I was talking about on the, almost like, it's not my lighting showing blue on it, but it almost does still have that look to it. You can hold it like this in the light, and it's like, oh, that looks okay. But then you go like this, you can see it. That's why you should always hold it at different angles, different light, or at least hold it in underneath a good light. It reveals all of the flaws. Here's another one that I have. It's Unk details cleaned. And this one's a 38D. We actually have this on the site for sale. No one's bought it yet, but that's a nice looking coin. It's on the borderline. You break that thing out, people would sell it problem free. I'm not saying that dealers do that, but I've heard dealers do that. They don't agree. It's not clean, so I'm going to sell it. This one is a 39. Now, this one was not graded. It's in a body bag. It's what they call a body bag. And it says altered surfaces not encapsulated. So they decided that they wasn't going to encapsulate this one. And I think I've had it out in another video. So sometimes, usually they don't encapsulate it when it's PVC, but I don't know if I dip this and send it back in, it just gets Unk details. I don't know. But it's good to have that as an example. I can show people what a body bag is. So this is 29, extra fine details. It's considered clean. This is one of them that I was hoping wouldn't get clean, but I tried it anyways. It's still, to get it in, extra fine, it's still nice. Because you don't see 29Ds in extra fine like this very often. And here's the ones that really blow people's minds when I show them. Standing quarters are very difficult to grade. A lot of different details and high points. And a lot of people get it confused. Oh, it doesn't have a full head, or the rivets aren't showing. But then there's weak strikes too, So the shield's not showing. I mean, there's just different things on it that people get confused. But this is Unk details, which this one here, I do have a tad bit of trouble with it, but see the staining? I think they're just looking at it from the standpoint that somebody must have dipped it. It didn't rinse it, so therefore it's got to be cleaned. It wasn't dipped appropriately. Original surfaces is what you look for in these. This one here is a 1918S, cleaned AU details. And it's a nice clean coin. Let's put it that way. It's a nice AU clean, but yeah, I agree with this. I can see the little oddball toning. It's unnatural toning that occurred from the cleaning. It's another indicator. And a 1930 AU58. See, this is a problem free. But was thinking maybe it would get uncirculated, but you got to remember where the high points are and look for the little bit of wear that's on it, and you can see it. See that the wing feather there? It's kind of hard to see. Not both sides don't have to have it either. That's the thing. Just one side needs to have a little bit of wear, a little bit of missing luster. Then here is an Eisenhower dollar. This one here is tooled. Can you see the lines? Unk details. This was tooled. You can actually see the lines when you hold it at an angle. But straight on, you're not really, you can see it there now. But certain angles, you don't see it. So you have to hold a coin at different angles. It's so easy to get excited that I found a Type 2. It looks mint state. I want to send it off and then not notice that. This one here, I've showed it in videos before. Cleaning unk details. This coin is definitely cameo, especially on the obverse. But if you hold it at a certain angle, see if we can reveal it here. You can see the lines where it was cleaned. I mean, it's hard to see it. You can see the lines on the holder, but there's just a faint lines across it at a certain angle. I wish I could show you a little bit better than this, but the lines are there, just barely across it at one angle. Then I have a couple of these, and 1928 cleaned unk details again. And it's not that these coins are not nice. They are nice looking coins. They're very collectible coins. But unfortunately, they have issues. This one I wasn't so sure about. I didn't really see where it might have been cleaned. I looked. There's some little unnatural looking toning on it, and that's potentially what, clued in the grader. And then here's another one. This is a reverse wheel mark. I missed that. It's a nice unk coin. Would probably grade really high, but on the reverse, they claim there's a wheel mark, and it's right in here. It's discolored the coin. It's just where something's rubbed it. Like I said, they go through different mechanisms in their lifetime. Like I said, the counting machines, rolling machines, rubber rollers, different things like that. Then we have these. And what's important here is I'm going to show you this. This is Altered Collar Unk Details. This is a 1909 VDB. And it actually looks like a really nice coin. And most people would think this coin was okay. Now, cameras will actually change the collar based off of the direction on copper is one of those things that cameras struggle with. And we're looking at a 2D image of light reflections. That's all you're looking at here. You're not seeing it in 3D. And here's a reverse. But when you're looking at a coin that is actually problem-free, it should look like this. It should have this kind of look to it, not this. This is more of a flat red look, like a yellow. Here's another example. This is what you see them side by side. You can see that there's something been removed from this or something changed about the coin. This is a 66 red. You can see what it's supposed to look like. The bronze, the alloy has a certain patina to it. That's what you're looking for. When they don't have it, they end up like this. And you can see this one here has actual discolorations from being cleaned. But it's still an unk coin, a 99. I mean, it's really cool to have an Indian cent that's unk details, even if it's details, even if it's considered clean. But a lot of people somebody sent these off thinking they're going to get a really nice high-grade unk coin because they didn't understand that they had been cleaned at one time. They just have more of kind of almost a pinkish, an oddball-looking patina to them. It's just hard to explain, but when you hold a problem-free coin next to it, you can see the difference. And here is an example of another coin that a lot of people would think was real, they would just throw it in a forum or a group and say, man, I love this coin. It's so beautiful, but yet it's artificially toned. This coin was cleaned and retoned like this. So it might be collectible to you, but it's never going to be a problem-free coin, unfortunately. Then, just as a bonus, when I add these coins here are environmental damage on details. I see these posted a lot. You know, people say it's on a wrong planchet, or it's centered, or is it a black beauty, or missing clad layer and all. I mean, this is the plated zinc. Something happened to the coin. I mean, I think it looks like to me it didn't obtain all of the copper plating and the zinc turned black. That's what it kind of looks like to me. But usually zinc turns kind of a white powder, so it doesn't really look like it. This one here is another one. They determined that it wasn't missing any plating and that it was environmental damage as well. They have it on details. And here's the reverse. Looks like to me it was partially plated or improperly plated to me, but yeah, that's the way I feel about it. I've seen them before, but they determined that it was environmental damage. So there you have it. There's my clean coin collection I wanted to share with everyone. I hope that you learned something about clean coins. So thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, comment, hit the sub button, and above all, have a great day.